Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we're gonna have a couple of cocktails using the Chinese tea called Lapsang Souchong. So Lapsang Souchong is a Chinese tea from the Huhi Mountains.
Choco, from the Harz Mountains of Germany.
During the drying process of the leaves is smoke, and it's heavily smoked. And it's not smoked using some fancy woods, cherry wood, maple, oak, some of the usual stuff you use to smoke things to make them taste good. It's smoked using some kind of pine wood that make it smell really like a campfire, like just a fire outside in the country where somebody started kind of randomly. It's really interesting, and today I'm gonna propose you two cocktails using this tea. The first one is gonna be a traditional cocktail served straight up called the Breakfast Club, and the second one is gonna be an original creation of mine that I specifically made to be really low on alcohol, because I think this tea, by being this smoky, gives an excellent opportunity to people that are not good with alcohol to experience this level of smoke that's almost like a peated whiskey, I would say. So let's get down to mixing. And let's start with the Breakfast Club, a cocktail that was found on drinkboy.com, which I went to check, and it's a really old looking website. Almost looked like it was done in the early 2000s, which probably is true. And let's start with 1 teaspoon of honey. Now, teaspoon of solid things like honey, and in a few seconds we are gonna have marmalade. Might be a bit tricky because you can be like, oh, this is a teaspoon, but after having tried this cocktail, I would suggest to use some pretty small or like flattened out teaspoon, just like this, both for the honey and for the orange marmalade. Otherwise your cocktail is gonna turn out too sweet. Then we proceed with the alcohol component of our cocktail, which is gonna be 60 milliliters of lightly aged rum. Actually, this is a Diplomático Planas that's been aged, I think, 8 years, 47%, but it's been charcoal filtered, so it's transparent. Now what we have to do is we have to stir in the base of a shaker honey and jam, marmalade, until they are fairly well dissolved, so that we can proceed with our cocktail. By the way, I seen in preparation for this video The Breakfast Club by John Hughes, and I'm gonna tell you my opinion on the movie after the credits. And then, last but not least, 30 milliliters of cold Lapsang Souchong tea. As we need the tea to be cold, I brewed it this morning. In the standard manner, I will brew a black tea. Boiling water, 3 minutes of steeping, and then filtering it. Let's get some ice, and let's give this bad boy a shake. Let's double strain in a chill coupe. And let's finish by splashing some lemon peel. And there you go, a Breakfast Club. Cheers. Really nice. Yeah, using not overfilled teaspoons of both honey and marmalade is the way to go. It results in a more balanced cocktail that doesn't harass you with sweetness, which is exactly what happened when I made this cocktail before. I used bigger teaspoons of these sweet ingredients, and what happened is that the cocktail was good, but I got tired of it just after a couple of sips. It was just too sweet. Like this is really nice. You can definitely appreciate the smokiness of the Lapsang Souchong, I mean, this rum is always good, so not much surprise there. Combo of honey and marmalade works pretty fine, providing some citrus component, some bitterness, some sweetness. You got the whole gamut of flavor you wanna have in this kind of cocktail. Now that we know the Breakfast Club is pretty good, let me present you my original creation. So as I said, I specifically designed this cocktail to be really light so that non-alcohol drinker can really appreciate this, as long as they accept something that's gonna be in the end around 3% ABV. And we start with 50 milliliter of sambuca. Sambuca is anise liqueur from Italy. It's one of those anise liqueurs that louches, that becomes opaque when you add ice to it. You can probably reformulate this cocktail to use other anise flavor liqueurs like ouzo, arak. But I found sambuca to work really well because it also contains all the sugar we're gonna eat. Sambuca is really sweet. So this works as sugar too, and that's why I use it first, so that now I'm gonna rinse the jigger from the thickness of the sambuca with 7.5 milliliter of lemon juice and then 90 milliliters of Lapsang Souchong. Let's get some ice and let's give this bad boy a shake. Prepare a cooling glass with some ice and let's strain our cocktail in it. Finally, top off with some tonic water. Let's give it a gentle stir so that our tonic mixes up with the rest of the cocktail. And because I have it, I'm just gonna slide one lemon peel here on the side. And there you go. I would like to call this cocktail the Sinusoidal. Cheers. Ooh, anise and smoke. This is really light. I made it on purpose like that, but it's quite nice. Even the person that's weakest with alcohol should be able to appreciate this. If they like the flavors, which are more challenging than the alcohol, because we have the smokiness, heavy smokiness of the tea and the anise. If you or the person that's about to drink this are really into flavor explorations around the world, this is a great cocktail because it's proposing some really interesting flavors that you don't often meet in normal life. The touch of lemon is necessary. The smoke gives a nice bitterness at the end, which also is enhanced by the touch of tonic. And good. I think this is good. Even though it's a cocktail that's not as strong as I'm used to, like this Breakfast Club. So if you enjoyed my video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, share with anybody you like and don't like. Give yourself to the exploration of the wonderful flavors of the Lapsang Souchong, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers. So, the movie The Breakfast Club. First of all, let's say I never saw any John Hughes movie from the 80s, ever, before a few years ago, when everybody was suggesting that Planes, Trains and Automobiles was one of the best movies ever and probably the best Thanksgiving movie ever, and I went and see it. That's about Planes, Trains and Automobiles, but now we are here to talk about The Breakfast Club. And just 2 days ago I watched The Breakfast Club preparing for this video. Now, being honest, I tried to watch The Breakfast Club before and I gave up after about half an hour. I was bored because the movie doesn't start that fast, and the movie purposely proposes you 5 characters which are 5 stereotypes. And so the movie didn't grab me a couple of years ago, or whenever I tried to watch it, I gave up on it. I was wrong, because there is one scene in the movie that happens about 3/4 through, when the 5 kids which are in detention all sit around in a circle, and that scene alone is worth the price of admission, as they say. That scene encapsulates a moment between teenagers which don't know each other, they are from different backgrounds, but they start sharing something, and they know tomorrow they might act like they want to forget what happened on this Saturday at school, but that these moments they are living now is gonna be really important in their future. And that scene is really, really good. Now, what I take issue with the movie is the character of Bender, the one that's stereotyped as a criminal and stuff, because he's a real asshole. He's really rapey throughout all the movie toward Claire, the beauty queen, and I don't think he has any redeeming arc to justify him, spoilers warning for a 41-year-old movie, get to kiss the beautiful girl at the end. He gets the girl. And that's unfair, because while we understand why Bender is like he is, he has a difficult family situation and stuff, first, we don't have to like him. Even though I understand where he's coming from. I was in high school with an asshole like that, and he made my life miserable the first 2 years of high school. And second, even after we found out his background, other people have opened up to him, and you see they're starting to accept him for what he is. He still acts like a complete asshole toward Claire, making sexual comments and stuff like that. Now, Molly Greenwald, the actress that portrayed Claire, had an article exactly about these things published in the New Yorker in 2018, and I read it, and it's really smart because she makes the right points. It was a long time ago. It was 1984. Time was different. You can still use gay slurs casually. It's awful, but they did that. I did that when I was young. I mean, I was a teenager. I didn't know any better. And she makes the points right that John Hughes, I think he had his heart in the right place, but he still liked to play with these kind of juvenile jokes, which probably also made him one of a few adults that could actually make a movie for teenagers that didn't sound preachy or anything like that. And I cannot tell you how I would have felt if I saw the character of Bender when I was 14 or something. Probably I wouldn't like him at that time either. I would have liked Brian, the Anthony Michael character, because he was closer to me, the nerd. But the fact that he gets the girl at the end, maybe it's what the public wanted to see at that time in history. The other bad thing about the ending is that they have this makeover story for the dark weirdo girl who is beautiful, and the makeover make her less pretty but more traditional, and the joke falls for her after the makeover. That's also dumb, because first of all, the joke should have fall over for her anyway. She was really interesting character and she was beautiful before. And I just think that when you have a makeover story that just goes wrong, it's really sad. In anything, reality TV, you're like, what? You looked better before. She looked awesome. I mean, she just needed probably a shampoo and some health advice from a nutritionist. But besides that, she was a fine girl. Weird, but you know, she was like Joy Division. And then we get to the after the makeover story, and she's New Order. And I'm like, yeah, New Order, they had a couple of good songs by Joy Division. I love that, don't you think? So those are my thoughts about watching Breakfast Club as an adult. And yeah, despite the few flaws of the movie, it's still a classic, I would say.